Good day, lords and ladies. My name is CrescentEmpress, and welcome to another special edition of ARC. This is my Scorched Earth home tour. We are parked here out by the facility, so you guys can check it out. This is where I call home on Scorched Earth. It's right in the southern mountain range. Just as a point of reference, I live right here next to the world scar because dragon eggs, or wyvern, now that I'm on PC, I actually have to differentiate. Easy access to wyvern eggs, easy access to wyvern milk, and it's a pretty area. Look at the architecture. Ultimately, this is, I debated about where I was going to put down roots for a long time, and ultimately, this was the answer. I liked the architecture here, just spoke to me, so. This is home, and I'll take a second to say, I mentioned it in my island tour, but I'll just take a second to say that I'm not upset about the nerf to wyvern speed. They were always a little hard to handle for me, so I actually like how they did that. And then we will take her up to her house. That's Hathor. They're a little easier to control, but don't worry, I will still struggle accordingly. This is what I meant. A little hard to control for me. It figures. Most of the time I make a totally clean entrance, and then I get on camera and botch it a billion times. The lag is not helping ARC. Okay, that's her platform. So I took you guys out for the aerial view with Ramuth here. This is my first wyvern. She's named after a dragon in one of my favorite book series, the Anne McCaffrey Dragon Riders of Pern novels. I don't recall what her original colors were, but when I finally went to get my first egg, I was with Bob. The way we did it was he flew his eagle and carried me. And when I finally got my egg, it was a great fire egg, and I was, guys, you don't even know. When I started on Scorched Earth, I single-mindedly moved towards my goal of getting wyverns. Every single day, I was just grinding and grinding until I had some place that I felt comfortable hatching a wyvern. My hatchery is actually on the other side of the valley, by the obelisk, before I decided, like I said, to live here. And when my egg hatched female, I wanted a gold dragon. That was, I wanted a gold dragon. So she got a paint job pretty early on, and she is so special. My first wyvern, I'm so in love. The wyverns are the only thing that actually have a legitimate claim to also favoritism. It's Dimorphodons and wyverns on base arc. So that's Ramuth, my first wyvern, and she's very special. I'll wheel over here and, shout out to my Archaeopteryx. Wheel over here and introduce you to Azul. Azul the Moth was my first flying mount. He existed exclusively so I could get eagles, so that I could start getting ready for the eagles, so I could start building speed for my World Scar runs. He now lives an easier life. You can see I brought you guys into my dragon housing. You can see that it is massive. It is massive by design. There's an irony. I'm going to take you guys outside next. I built this just before the Halloween event because I knew about the zombie wyverns and the dodo wyvern that I didn't know if I could keep if I spawned one in. built it specifically so I'd have housing for them. Couldn't keep the dodo wyvern, and the zombie wyverns won't land inside. But that means I have housing for my dragons, or wyverns. Like I said, now that I'm on PC, I actually have to make the differentiation, wyverns. But I'll take you guys right down here first, and introduce you to the only girl of the zombie wyverns that I brought home. The only girl, and the only one that landed conveniently. You don't even know, when I show you where the other ones are, you don't even know the struggle that it was to get them to land anywhere that was even sort of convenient. Pop over here. This is Anjitsia. She landed in a great place. I just walled off the path down there to make sure nothing could wander up to bother her, and she chills out here with a nice view out to the desert. And behind her we have the tech center. Again, now, kind of, might need to rename that now that the tech is actually an item, or a tier of materials, as it were. It's so nice that they resize those vaults. Yeah, so this is the condensed version of all of those the village from the center. This is all condensed down to convenience. Yeah, Dystrosaur. Sweet pea. Interesting, the wyverns don't get an experience buff, just fun fact. And my farm is also out by the obelisk, but I did move the fertilizer producers, Jasper and Jade. I moved them here, because they have made plenty of fertilizer. And then, yeah, I'm going to blame Bob for having this monstrosity, and like, he wanted the grinder so badly, so I worked really hard to make it. Never have used it. Never once have used it. Just giant, bulky machinery. It's just distracting for me. But then, upstairs was just additional storage. Like, I could actually have proper vaults now that they're resized. Unfortunately, you can't pick anything up in base arc. So, that is the tech center. That is where all of our crafting and stuff is done. I didn't quite think the placement of my dragon housing through. You actually have to go through the building to get to the other side. It is worth running down there. Oh, actually, before I forget, because I will forget, I want to introduce you really fast to one of the Draboas here. This is Seuss. Here, present day, we have the NWS, the National Weather Service. This is the Scorched Earth Weather Service. He's the lucky guy that gets to come with me when I leave. And since we're passing her, I'll show you guys Sin. She is I'm still working on her. She's almost there. And she's 100% imprint, but and you don't really get any bonuses for doing anymore. And as we're peeling out of here, I will show you, this was actually after the Trudons were released. I didn't know how aggressive they were, and it became important to me to get these guys behind walls. It took literally hours to get them to land in even sort of together. But there's Anshar and Amun and Bob Zombie. Death became me, who is tilted, but he will have to write himself because inexplicably these guys aren't writable. That's probably my biggest disappointment. I don't know why they aren't writable. Like, I wanted them, and I'm not sad to have them, but I don't understand why I can't write them. They're just lawn ornaments, which is really a shame because they're so cool. And then if I jog down here, I mentioned it casually. In my island tour, for this game, Bob wanted something better than the little log-out room at Castle Valkyrie, and I never got around to the housings and stuff on the center, but this time, he'd helped me out enough that I put in some effort to make a place for him. But here's the golem, Pet Rock. But this time, because Bob has been a huge help with two-person tasks. I took the time this time to actually make a proper little house for him. He likes these trophies are grotesque, but he likes them. I told him he wasn't allowed to put the wyvern one outside because it's depressing. But yeah, I wish that there were more decoration options in Ark. Like, more decorative items would really be nice for people who just like to build and stuff. But that's the house I built. I was pretty pleased with it. His Jerboa Mini. Because it's the first time I've done just like strictly habitation. Like, actually trying to mimic what a house should be. I was pretty pleased with how it came out. But then I will go back here and finish my thought with Azul's easier life now. He mostly acts as taxi for the dragon housing, because it's actually faster to just take them off than to use the stairs. So he serves as the taxi. Come on, Ark, I believe in you. Just gotta give it a minute. You can see we have some introductions to make, I would say. I will not spend too long on all of them. There's only a couple that I really want to point out. We'll go to this side first, all the way up. These are the dragons I'm pretty sure we're never going to use go. All projects of mine. Kalis was kind of dumb. When he hatched, he's on Wander, naturally. I turned Wander off, but he still wandered away and got stuck on top of a lamp in the corner. Why? It's anybody's guess. If we peel down here, I'm going to point out, Scylla is one of my favorite. I love all my wyverns. But her coloring is so cool. Like, I've never had another, like, tritone wyvern with, the gray and orange and red. She's just beautiful. And then I'll point out Feronia. Feronia got the bone wyvern skin from the Halloween event. Because she is the one I take when I go egg hunting on my own. I like to have a wyvern because even though they're harder to maneuver, they can fight back. I don't know how that's going to work out now that the nerf has been enacted. But because I chose her for that really dangerous task, I wanted, something special for her. So she got the bone wyvern skin, and it actually serves two functions, I found. Because she has that, I have a better field of view, so I can see the eggs, where normally, like, her wings would be in the way. So actually, it's to my benefit to use that skin with her. I will just show you briefly. Amaterasu is one of my victories. Of all of the patterns that I had seen for the wyverns, this is the one I coveted the most, the black and gold. I was so excited. When we got his egg, I actually saw the parent, or at least I saw a dragon of the same level, so it was reasonable to assume that it was going to be the same one. I was so excited to finally get this color pattern. Also in the just really pretty category, I'll pop up here and introduce you guys to Hathor with the white and orange, which is, again, I think is just really striking. But then we will go up to our final destination on the home tour here, where I have some stories. So this is, you guys can obviously tell. Oh, you know what I didn't do before I go up here? I almost totally forgot because there are so many dragons to introduce. Azul makes great taxi service. Introduce you to the other critters. We do have something other than wyverns. And I mentioned I have a few tribute animals. I talked about Sylvester before. Sylvester remembered. And Celine. albino carnos I have just such a thing for. My thorny dragon Rose, who is adorable. Like, they're so cute. I love them. Then we have a couple of mantises here. After being thwarted by fatal errors, I actually came into my Scorched Earth Xbox game to find ponies, and I did find a couple. My little sister named one Rapidash, and I named my other guy Nox. And Capro is Bob's. I'll come over here to this guy. This is Spike. Spike is extremely special. He is one of the 6 animals that will return to me when cross-arc transfers were introduced. When I first started with Arc, Bob kind of entreated that I come join him and another one of our friends in the non-dedicated to play, because she was playing with base settings, so having another person was definitely beneficial. I heard a little bit about the game. I didn't know too much, but when I came in, my goal was to get a Dillo, strictly on the logic that I liked the one in Jurassic Park. And so we did. We got a Dillo for me, and I named him Spike. And he has a kind of a funny story. I started literally every single day. When I logged into that game, I had to go find Spike. Because he would just disappear. He would just wander off down the beach. Nobody could figure out why. It took literally months before our friend was versed enough in the game to realize that at some point in naming him and getting him to follow, I accidentally enabled wandering. For the longest time, we thought it was just stupid. But after we turned that off, he stayed put like a good critter. Yes, so that's the story with my first Arc pet ever. We'll go up to meet the one that really changed things for me. I will introduce you to the Vulture, Valencia, and Satsujin Tori, who attacked me while I was taming my ponies, but I knocked him out and stuffed him full of flowers, and then had him act as an escort to get the ponies home. His name literally means murder bird because he was killing everything. Literally everything. He was set to attacking target, but he would just randomly kill passive things. He was very dangerous and very helpful with getting the pony home. Then we do have a couple of Jerboas. The fact that they can have hats is so cool. Candy got the witch hat from the Halloween event. And the New Year's event, top hat. Fluffy was my first Jerboa. He wasn't supposed to be on top of the cabinet, but he landed there and I decided it's fine. And before we get into the special part, this was my other tribute animal, Hera Ascended. You may or may not have noticed that I spawned her in at ridiculous stats because I could. And it was so funny when I spawned her. I mentioned I have a fondness for pure white birds and they're so hard to find. The game spawned me a pure white bird. But she was named in memory of a bird that you can actually see in the shot. So, how do I want to do this? These are my first group of Dimorphodons. Hera, Harpy, and Hades. Harpy and Hades we tamed together, and we got a Hera shortly after we got my first bird. Because I had fallen absolutely in love with these guys. And it was because of this guy. This is Hermes. Hermes is the Dimorphodon that started it all. By now you've seen my collection of Dimorphodons, and you didn't even see all of them. There were tons more on the island. He started the whole thing. It was one of our adventures down the beach. We saw one crawling, and I thought it was the cutest damn thing I had ever seen. Our friend had it mistaken for a dragonfly. She knew something flying on the beach poisoned you. So she thought it might have been the critter, and she killed it. And I was heartbroken, because it was so cute. And the next time I got on with them, I told them that my only goal for the day was to get one of those little flyers for myself. I had no idea what it was called. So I wanted one of the little flyers. We were on our usual trip down the beach, and we finally saw one. And at the time, we didn't know what we were doing. We had like a couple of trank arrows. We were very, very underprepared to do any sort of exploring or taming. But we finally saw one as it was getting dark. And armed with only a slingshot, I began trying to knock this guy out. I was at it literally the entire night and into the day, trying so hard to knock this guy out with rocks. He would attack me, I would run away, I would come back, hit him with more rocks. I missed most of the time. It was a pitiful sight, I'm sure. Till eventually, our friend took pity on me and used one of our very few trank arrows to put him down. We tamed him and he became Hermes, and after I got him, I actually did some research on what he was and what he was for, and he dictated to me how I would navigate my way through Ark. Most of my problems are solved with a flock of dimorphodons. They are so special to me. And more than a year and a half ago or so, Hermes started it all. And, now there are hundreds and hundreds of dimorphodons. But they bring me a tremendous deal of joy, and I'm so happy that I can share Hermes with you guys, because he has such a special place in my heart. And I'm happy that I was able to show you my home on Scorched Earth. That is pretty much the run of the tour here, because I won't take you to the off-site facilities, there are a couple. But that is pretty much where I live here in Scorched Earth. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed these 3 just random, extra, bonus feature episodes where I can show you guys my life on Xbox, because, on PC, the series lasts only so long and you move on. This is my permanent homes that have been built and established, and all of the memories and special pets that live here. So I'm glad I got to share that with you all, and I hope that you have enjoyed. If you did, please take a moment to let me know, and do remember to join the court by subscribing. Until next time.